My name is Gomuno. I'm moderator. From now on, we will begin our discussion with the topic. Students should be allowed to use phones in class. The name of the first team is 이등병 사경, and the name of the first team is 타종. Please shake hands with each other.
자, 조정과 일어나서 박수해주세요. 조정. 자, 공정한 합의. Please continue.
너 나와. The first speaker for the first team is Park Jae-won. Please introduce the discussion topic and give reasons for removal. Ground for argument on the topic for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. 박수 쳐주세요.
Our group agrees with the argument. First, there is no reason to ban smartphones on school. We see the reason ban the use of smartphones and taking it as decentralization of students concentrating and smartphone addiction. However, it can't be provided. In fact, Professor Campbell, an Australian educationist, uses smartphone. The fact is that there are no studies proving the claim that banning has a mental healthy impact on learning or students. Also, Canada and the US have banned the smartphone in school for 4 and 10 years, but they are effective, and online adapting to has also been considered part of education, and related laws have been abolished. Second, we need information. These days, many students are communicating with their friends through SMS, such as Facebook and Instagram. The information is on Google. If you search for it, you will find about 60,000 academic materials. And if you look at the class we are doing now, the frequency of using smartphone is increased. As it increases, rather than playing outside or talking in class, communicating in a virtual space like SNS is also increasing. It's a trend that's becoming important. However, you need a smartphone to access SNS. Based on this reason, I think that smartphone should be allowed in class.
Perfect.
This time, the first speaker of the first team repeated what the first team claimed for a topic and explained the reasons or grounds for oppositions for 3 minutes.
Opinion is number one. Smartphone infringe on students' right to study. If smartphones are available in the class, students will not focus on the class but only focus on the smartphone, which will reduce their concentration and interfere with the class. And children should not use smartphones because their knowledge level is lower, because they do not talking classes and look at smartphone and do not study. Secondly, it violates the teacher's right to teach. Teachers have the right to teach children. The smartphone should not be used in classroom because smartphone prevents them from focusing on classes, teachers from being able to teach, and children have the right to learn too. Number 6. Poor concentration in class. Even now, many children are addicted to smartphones, and if they can use them in the classroom, children will not be able to control their smartphone use, and then they will not be able to proceed with the class. Also, you should not use smartphone in the classroom because you are not paying attention to the class, and you should not use smartphone in the classroom because you have to improve social skills with talking at school. But you can't tell will because
The third speaker of the first team, please repeat what opponents have just claimed and give examples of the first and second reasons for 2 minutes.
Hello, I'm third presenter Lee Da-yoon. First, Doyeon said that the use of phone in schools violates teachers' right to teach it. But on the contrary, Article 16 of the Rights of the Child in the International Human Rights Convention, the right not to be arbitrarily or illegally interfered within privacy or communication. It's the violate of the lawyer, and it violates the freedom of communication under Article 18 of the Constitution, which can violate the student's right to communication rights. In addition, according to the recommendation of the National Human Rights Commission of Korea by school level, the student right rules which correct students' cell phones and return them at the end of school are considered as an act of infringing of freedom of action and communication under the Constitution. Therefore, we want that schools stop or restrictions on the possession and use of cell phones by students and revise the student right rules.
Time's up.
As the second presenter said, I think that best way is to create and implement an alternative that does not infringe on everyone's rights. Thank you.
Please be quiet. Please discuss the reasons for the opposition. Return to the first claim for 1 minute. Speaker of the first team, please repeat what opponents have just claimed and give examples of the first and second reasons for 2 minutes.
Hello, I'm Jung Jae-young, the second presenter of the private rectangle group. As we heard from the first presenter, we'll talk about the topic allow students to use smartphones in school. I'm in charge to approval. We have prepared about 5 or 6 arguments and bases. First, we can break the pattern of study and do your hobbies or things you want to do during break times. Do this, brain circulations can help you concentrate better in the next class. Recently, in classes, the number of classes using smartphones is also increasing by this point. By this point, you might think, but isn't the side effects of using a smartphone more dangerous? It's not a wrong question, but we also prepared a way to minimize the side effects of it. The side effects of using smartphones are a way to posting pictures or videos of your friends on the internet. You can think about using a smartphone secretly in class. In severe cases, it can also lead to school violence. This problem can start by banning filming in schools and punishing students who violate it, such as be cleaning or counseling with their parents. Also, the same punishment is given to students who secretly use smartphones in class. Under these rules, wouldn't both students and parents be relieved if they allowed to use smartphones in school? This concludes the presentation. Thank you for listening.
Then, please discuss the reasons for the opposition, rebuttal to the pros claims for 1 minute.
자, 이번엔 협의 시간입니다.
여기 안 해. The second speaker from the Hans team refutes what the pros has just claimed and state the first and second reasons for 2 minute freeze.
I think Jaeyoung's argument is wrong. So my first argument is that the class gets in the way because of the cell phone. This is because mobile phones have many functions which stimulates our curiosity and affects the class by dispersing our concentration. And it not only affects me, but also stimulates the curiosity of the friend next to me and affects other friends next to me. So everyone's class can get in the way. The second is that you can't develop your creativity because of your cell phone. Because you can look at one thing and think about to create various answers, but the cell phone automatically shows only the determined answers to one thing. Finally, you are addicted to smartphones. This is because using smartphones in class can cause children to focus on smartphones, not classes. And it gets bigger and gets in the way of important times other than classes, which can cause smartphone addiction and cause mental problems as well as physical problems.
You know what I'm saying? Is that good?
Please, the pros team discuss the reasons for counter argument for 1 minute.
자, 협의 시간입니다.